Welcome to another episode of Growing in Real Estate with your host, Jacob Davenport. I'm a real estate investor, real estate agent, and I do all things real estate. I love real estate, to be honest with you. This podcast is always about connecting with like-minded individuals, all trying to achieve their own personal journey through real estate by connecting with others and sharing their journey. Today I have a dope guest, one of my good buddies, somebody I met in real estate. He continues to pour into me. I hope I'm always pouring into him. Yeah. My brother Carl, welcome, brother. How are you?
What's up, bro?
Let me give you a round of applause, man. I've been waiting on you. I've been waiting on you.
I know we've been talking about this solo one for a minute, so
we have, man. We have.
And I appreciate having me on, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on. Can you give us a brief introduction? Who are you? Where you're from?
Yeah. Well, not too far from here, but from Tracy, California. Born and raised my whole life. And right now, sorry about that. Yeah, right now, just wholesaling, flipping. That's mainly what we do. Work with of course, our company, I Buy Central Valley, and work with my cousin PJ and my brother Elman. And they started the company about a few years ago. So they've been doing it for a minute, and then of course PJ has been doing it for a lot longer than both of us. But right now, I'm the disposition manager for the company. So I'm the guy that, sells out the deals that they bring in, or if anybody else has deals, then I'll sell those out. And also just helping to bring organic deals for the company.
That's dope. That's dope. For those that may be just starting real estate or don't have a whole lot of clarity, most people understand what a real estate agent is. Mm-hmm. As a wholesale company, what does that mean? Well,
it's funny because I actually made a video on this that I'm going to be posting on Instagram probably most likely this week. But basically, wholesaling is just being that middleman between the seller and the buyer. So, it's just as simple as us getting a deal under contract and, something that works with the seller, the terms, the price, whatever it may be, putting that onto paper, everybody signing off on it, everybody agreeing to it. And then, just like, a lot of people in real estate, there's always so many options. You could, rent these deals out. You could flip them. You could wholesale them. So just like I'm pretty sure like you can only take on so many deals at one time. Somebody could throw you 30 deals, but it's like, you can only take on so many deals. Your crew might be only so big, whatever it is. So that's kind of where wholesaling comes into play. Yeah. Where we'll go ahead and, we'll dispose of those deals and, sell those to a cash buyer that might be much better suited for that deal.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where wholesaling takes play is that, we are maxed out on what we can do probably on flipping. We're not in the mode to be taking on rental properties right now. Well, we don't want to just let the deal die. Yeah. We might as well give it to somebody and let them benefit from it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that it's important to note, too, that in any business, what you're trying to do when you make a successful business is you're solving a problem for people.
Yeah.
And when I look at wholesaling in particular, oftentimes most people understand the average or the more customary form of real estate, which is retail real estate. Mm-hmm. You own a house, you talk to a real estate agent, you put it on the market, and you sell it to another family that can occupy that property.
Yeah.
In the space of wholesaling, one of the problems that is commonly solved is for homeowners that couldn't sell their home traditionally on the open market.
Yeah.
Whether that be the home is distressed, whether that they're going through a foreclosure or some type of structural change, and maybe they're behind with the bank, and their time frame of being able to get this over the hill is cutting down very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. And so most transactions that are done in the United States through real estate, those are done with like a traditional loan where there's a appraisal and all those processes that are included. Mm-hmm. But there's a large portion of the market where people need help and they need help fast.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. And me and the guys were talking about this the other day, but it's like, of course, traditional real estate has its place, but then you also have the part where it's like, people aren't always looking for the money. They're not always trying to get top dollar. They're not trying to wait like 60, 90 days on the market, letting it just sit there and then having people come in and out the property. Not everybody wants that. Some people understand, like, especially if they're in distress, that they'd prefer just to close quicker and just get the deal over with, So I think that's kind of where we bridge the gap is that, you have your agents, which are great at what they do. And, if you need to list it and you want market value and you have the time to list it for market value, time for people to walk in and out, hey, go for it. We advise people to do that.
Yeah.
But if the situation makes more sense for them to, get a cash offer to sell it, immediately. There's a deal actually this week locked down where the person's about to go in foreclosure within the next week. So it's a matter of, having the resources to be able to, push out foreclosures, whatever it is. And we're able to help them with that because has become like our niche in this industry.
Yeah. And I think that in the space, wholesaling is nothing new, but the process of it is naturally very attractive, very likely because of this. In this space, you can make a lot of success financially or whatever your personal goals are. You can actually get access to properties in a very competitive market where just simply waiting for something to come on the market is not really the solution. Yeah. There's a lot of processes in the wholesale process. Mm-hmm. Agree or disagree? Wholesaling is just so easy.
Oh, you know why I caught on this one, man.
Give it to me. Give it to me. I'm listening.
Oh man, it's easy, but it's not simple.
What does that mean?
So basically, the concept of it, honestly, it's pretty easy to understand, and it's easy to start doing it, but to be consistent and to be good at it for a long period of time is the hard part of it. And that's why, especially in this industry, you have so many people that will, come into this industry and they'll be completely new at what they do, first time wholesales, whatever it is. And they think they can make like a cool $30,000, $40,000 just off of a few calls within, 6-7 days. It doesn't, like, you might get lucky. I know people that have done that, right, but they're probably not here today because they haven't been consistent with it. They haven't learned like the arts of it. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And give me a brief overview of the art of it. When you say the art, it's not so much you just go find a deal and the deal's a discount and you buy it, right?
Yeah.
You have to do a ton of marketing and a ton of investing of both financial capital, intellectual capital, find a competitive advantage. There's different ways to really get ahead of those leads, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And that's where stuff like, of course, marketing and whatnot will come in, but it also comes down to your whole sales process, how you talk to these people. Mm-hmm. Like there's been people that, of course, will offer, let's say like the property's worth like $350,000 fixed up, but it needs a complete rehab, probably $60,000, $70,000 worth. And then there's like a wholesale that will come in there and say like, hey, I'll offer the seller $330,000. And then, the seller tells us like, hey, I went ahead and signed with these people, they're giving me what I want. We're like, all right, sounds good. And then here we are like 2-3 months later, they'll call us back. Oh yeah, that guy, he was not serious, this and that. Like, he couldn't make the numbers work. And it's like, yeah, and that's something we'll explain to a lot of these sellers too. It's like, hey, like just an FYI, like if somebody's going to lock it up, great, like go ahead. But just make sure that they're able to actually close on it. Yeah. And then that's when reality will start setting for a lot of these sellers that, you might want $350 for your property that needs $60,000 worth of work, but the market determines that's not that.
Yes.
And that's where like something like our buyers will come in and they'll determine that. Of course, we run our numbers to make sure we do our due diligence and, that is something we actually can move because at the end of the day, we want to help these sellers too.
Yeah.
You just said earlier, they're all in I won't say all of them, but a good amount of them are in like distressed situations. They're already stressed out with whatever they're dealing with. We're there to like help bridge the gap to get them where they want to go, and by making it as simple and seamless as possible,
and very quickly.
Yes,
definitely. So let me pull this back a little bit because I know we went straight into wholesaling and the concepts of it.
Yeah.
I have had the opportunity to meet you, your brothers, your cousins, and spend time with you guys, and in this business where there's large profits and so much. I think there's ego, there's reputation. There's so many different components in this business that have nothing to do with real estate, but I try to focus on real estate just like you guys. I've had the opportunity to get past all of that, which doesn't have a location in you guys' projects and your structure. You guys are very, very geared to people and geared to, growing in real estate. I've also got to learn a little bit about how you got to where you're at today. So much of it has something to do with you, but very little of it has to do with your parents, and your parents really plotting out a great foundation for you guys. I think that one of the things you shared, or maybe it was your brother, that when your parents first moved here, they bought one piece of property.
Yeah.
How was that?
I mean, when our parents first came here, it was, not easy, of course. Like, we'll say all the time, like, we have it much easier than they do at the end of the day. And they came here with little to nothing in their pocket at the end of the day. So that's where it's like our parents were really like the stepping stone for where we are today. And they gave us that different perspective in terms of to what we're doing right now, you know? And a lot of it just has to do with the fact that they were persistent in their businesses that they ran. Yeah. And when they first came here, and their willingness to just never give up. Yeah. So, and that's why, you know, me, PJ's my cousin, Aman's my brother, we all work together in I by Central Valley. We always give our props to our parents because of how hard they worked for us to get us where we're at, because I'm only speaking for myself, but I don't know if I would have that same level of, you know, discipline and execution if it wasn't for seeing that growing up with my dad, you know? Yeah.
I totally agree. And the reason why I bring that up is because I know that as we grow in anything, so much of our successes as adults has a lot to do with our childhood. Mm-hmm. And in this business, this is a business that, again, has lots of profit and a lot of potential. Yeah. But this business is about people. Mm-hmm. And I think that anybody looking to get into this industry and be a success in this industry, if they think they can do it by themselves, they're wrong. If they think that they can do it without having grace and humility and making it about people and connections, they're wrong. What do you have to say to something like that?
100% agree. I mean, especially with the wholesaling part, like, you know, the retail part of it, it's like a lot of these people are moving because it's just like leisure, because of pleasure. You know, they want to move because, you know, they're like slowly starting to outgrow the home, whatever it is. They're about to have another child. You know, they don't necessarily need to move, but it's more of like a want. Mm-hmm. But you have to have those people skills, especially when it comes to dealing with these like sellers that are, you know, in very, very tough situations sometimes. Dire situations. You have to have, you know, patience, compassion, you know, just really understanding what they're dealing with. Yes. And I will say, especially like, I don't deal with the seller side personally in terms of when I make the calls. I'm usually dealing with just the buyers. So it's a little bit like more logical. But like some of these sellers, they get emotional on the phone. Sometimes I'll hear it like just if somebody's like one of the guys are talking next to me, and it's like, it humbles you in a way, you know, because especially sometimes you walk into some of these properties and it's like, man, this is like what this person's dealing with. Yeah. So I think there's like an extra level of care and intent of making sure that we move these deals as we need to and making sure that we keep the seller in mind along the way.
Yeah. Can you give me an example of as you've grown in real estate, wholesaling in particular, that you went through a transaction in somebody's situation really just kind of kept you up at night? Without you don't have to say their name or anything like that. But in context.
I think the one that stands out to me is one that we did in Oakland. I forget exactly where it was, but it was off of one of the numbered streets. Right. And
they seem like they're all numbered in Oakland sometimes. I'm with you. 87, 88, 99.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the ones in the hundreds from what I remember. But I just remember that, you know, the guys were talking to the seller, and I'm usually the one that goes to the property to like take the pictures, whatever it is, to like meet the sellers and to see the property conditions, verify that it is what they're saying it is on the phone. Yeah. And when I remember going to this house and my cousin PJ, he gave me like a heads up, like, hey, like it's not in the nicest area. And the reason why this lady was actually leaving was because it was like she was like an old grandma. She was like in her like mid to late 70s, and she just wanted to move. And then my cousin told me, he was like, hey, just FYI, like, you know, it's not the best area. And the reason why she wants to move is because a few weeks ago, the neighboring house got shot up in a drive-by. So then when you meet her in person, it's like, you could tell like they're affected by that. And she was just telling me like, hey, I just want to like leave. I want to go to Berkeley. My sister lives over there. Yeah. And I think at that point, it's like, especially with deals like that sensitive, we just want to make sure that it gets to the finish line. Yeah. And in fact, there was I think it was because of her solar or something. It was something like that. She had a lien on the property where basically we made $0 on that deal. We were supposed to originally make, I think it was like 20 or 30 at least on it. We ended up making 0 because in order for the deal to work, you know, we couldn't make anything on it. We had to pay off the liens in the process. And it was just like a eye-opening moment of like, of course the money's nice, but the money's always going to come, That deal we did for $0.00 did completely for free, basically. If technically, we probably even lost money because we paid for the marketing to get that deal. So I think a lot of it is like very, very humbling. And it's like what everybody says, like you always get deals down the road. Like you screw up on one deal, like, hey, it's what it is. Use it as a learning lesson and just move on from it. Yeah.
And I think that when you talk about the experience in Oakland, the longer you're in this business, the more transactions you facilitate in this business, the more you realize that once again, it's more than just a profit. It's more than just homes, right? Or real estate. Yeah. It's about people, because the lady that you guys had to assist, she could be your grandma.
Yeah.
And whether she could be your grandma or not, you realize that if you guys don't help her out,
then who will?
There's nobody coming.
Because nobody's gonna, I mean, agents do list properties like that on the market, but they sit there for like 2 years.
And she didn't have the time for that.
And it's just one of those things where she was urgent just because of that event. She wanted to leave as soon as possible. So could she have listed it? Maybe, but the property also needed some work. There was some like roof issues going on. She never fixed the leaks in it. So it's just one of those things where it just kind of made sense for her to sell as quickly as possible.
And money doesn't solve all the problems. So depending on where you're at in your chapter of your life, sometimes money, I mean, try living without money. That'd be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
But when you give the example of this young lady, elderly young lady, right? Yeah. Money wasn't what she was looking for. She was looking for her safety. Yeah. And so again, I see the power in real estate, and the longer you're in it, you do see how much important it is to be more personable and really have a heart. But at the same time, conduct your business and do your due diligence. But it can get very difficult.
Yeah, like you said, it gets very personal very quick. Yeah. So, I mean, of course, we're in business to make money, but we also want to help people along the way. I mean, you're dealing with some situations that are so difficult. It's like, how can you not?
Yeah, agreed. So you work with your brother and your cousin. You guys all facilitate this business together. Oh man, I can't work with I probably could work with my brother. I don't typically work with my brother. I have 5 brothers, and so working with family can be very difficult. Yeah. I don't know any other wholesaling company or any real estate company particularly that I know where the family is all entrenched together, with the exception of maybe a husband or wife partnership. How is it working with family?
Oh man, I mean, of course, like I said, I'll speak for myself, but I know the guys would agree with this. We all enjoy it. Yeah. Of course, we have our differences, just like any other family members, and of course, like personal, like life problems, like things come up, but I think it really goes back to the parents at the end of the day. Like this is where like we have to give them a shout out, give them their props for how they've raised us, is because, they were also the same way. Like mine and my brother's dad and PJ's dad, my cousin, our uncle, they, were in business for I don't know how many decades at this point. And of course they have personal issues come up. They have business issues that come up, but they never let that break them away. And I think it's just being able to understand where to separate those things. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you have to. You do. Like, if one day, like, there's something we disagree on, whether it's like in business or in personal life, like, you just got to drop it and like move on. Talk about it. And don't let it sit there on your mind. Don't let it just like, eat you up inside, but you got to talk about it too. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the main thing, just communication and just understanding that, we're all here for a reason. Yeah. Yeah. We all have the same goal in mind.
I think that there's definitely the way your parents raised you is amazing. It doesn't matter what your background is. Everybody, the golden rule is don't mix family with business. Yeah. For those of us that have heard that and try to stick to that, what are some of the beautiful things about working with your brother and your cousin in business that you probably can't receive from working with somebody that's not your family?
Trust and commitment. I say those two are the biggest. I mean, everybody knows it. Like everybody says like, hey, you shouldn't work with family, but you probably don't work with your family because you probably don't trust them or you feel like they're not committed enough. Yeah. I feel like those are really the main 2 reasons why you wouldn't start. I think it would just chalk it up to those 2 things. Really.
Yeah, trust and commitment. Yeah, I like that. Before you got into to wholesaling and were really committed all to it, you were climbing the ladder academically. Yeah, Rebecca, you were Sac State alumni.
Yeah. So I graduated from Sac State in 2022. I already had accepted a position at Intel before I graduated.
What'd you study?
Business finance.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was doing business finance, graduating that. Luckily, I know, especially during those times after COVID, it was a lot harder for people to find jobs. But, thankfully I found one before I graduated, accepted that position. And then I was there for about a year and a half. Now, of course, with COVID and everything, it was great because it was fully remote. But especially when I signed on the contract to, be in that position that I was, it was that it would become eventually fully in office. So I was getting to the point where they were slowly bringing us back in. It's like 1 day every week, 2 days every week, 3 days every week. And then it got to the point where they wanted us like fully in time. And now I'm sure a lot of people probably know the distance, but Tracy to Folsom and back every single day, that's about 2 hours one way. So yeah, it was a good job for what it was, but even some of my coworkers, they were like, why the hell do you do this?
So you were commuting from Tracy to Folsom every day to work?
Tracy to Folsom. Well, it was getting to the point where it was about to be every day. I think I was like 3 or 4 days in the office at this point.
But also, let me back up. Because when you were attending Sac State, were you in person at Sac State?
Yes and no. It was kind of the same thing. COVID kind of screwed things up. So we had I think a semester or two that was just completely remote. But then also the fires that broke out in Paradise. I remember that Sac State I think it was for about a semester then that we just had no classes. So almost half my college life, it was there, and then half my college life was back home. Yeah.
But you bring up something earlier, not even 5 minutes ago, you said trust and commitment when working with family.
Yeah.
And so much of what's important when we talk about working with others or working with family, how we grade that, we have to start with we have to start with ourselves first.
Yeah.
And I also said earlier, so much of our childhood is a projection of our adulthood, and what that's going to look like. Your humble beginnings, your hard work, your ambition, right?
Yeah.
Your ethical behavior. Well, if driving to Sac State every day, if driving to Folsom for work every day is not a level of commitment, then I don't really know what it is.
Yeah. And that was another thing too. It's I was committed to the job, but I was just like anybody else. You feel like there's better out there, just better for the situation, for the money, whatever it may be. But I think I was getting at the point where it's I was slowly starting to get to the point where I was fatigued. Yeah. And it financially doesn't make sense. Doing a round trip like that every single day. And that's when, PJ and Aman, they both spoke to me and they were like, why don't you just come with us to one of our real estate events that we go to, our wholesaling coaching class.
Yeah.
And that's when I flew out to Ohio with them, did that for a couple of days, and then I was convinced on the spot that I wanted to do it. Yeah. And it got to the point where my brother was like, all right, you sure you want to you're making a big jump here? And I was like, dude, let's do it. Worst, especially at my age, luckily I'm starting this younger, so what's the worst that can happen? I just gain more experience.
And confirm for us, how old are you?
I'm 24.
24.
Yeah.
There we go.
And yeah, so it's what's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm just gonna gain more experience. All right, that's fine. That's I can use that somewhere else, whatever it may be. But the guys really felt like I meshed well with this position. Or doing dispositions, just speaking with buyers, being on the more logical side about things. And yeah, it's kind of transpired from there. And now this is kind of where we are. We brought on more people in office, have a full-time transaction coordinator, also have another acquisitions guy in office, have some VAs in the Philippines, another one in South America. So that's where we're sitting with that.
Yeah, and just from your as your peer, who I have a lot of respect for you, it wouldn't have mattered what you chose, whether you stayed in business, whether you went back to school for a second degree, whether you was a janitor or a rocket builder, right? Your commitment, right? Your ethics, the way you approach business, and the way you treat people, because people are important. Yeah, you were going to do great in any of these things. And if you had to keep driving to Folsom, you would have kept driving to Folsom. I complain a little bit during traffic, but keep doing those things, because when you start with your why and the who am I and why am I doing it? Who am I? Am I ethical? Am I hardworking? Do I see it half full, half empty? Those types of things. And so that's the who. And then the why am I doing it? If you're solely doing it for money, and then you don't get the money, then you'll stop anyways. And so a lot of why you were doing it is because you said you were going to do it. So you're going to keep doing it. Yeah. Kind of being a man about it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I totally respect that.
I appreciate it.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, I've had the opportunity to speak with you a lot, so
Yeah.
I definitely admire you.
I think it's been about like 2 years at this point.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Time
flies. Time flies. Where are your parents originally from?
India.
Absolutely. And when they came, they were the first of their family to come to the United States.
Yeah, so it started off with PJ's dad. PJ's dad was the first one to come here, and then my dad followed suit shortly after. And then, of course, as they started progressing in their livelihoods over here, started bringing more family over from India, from Punjab specifically, where we're from.
Shout out to Punjab.
Yeah, exactly. Appreciate it.
For sure.
But yeah, so yeah, a lot of our, they slowly brought in more people from there, and then they had us. And that's just kind of where we're sitting now. Yeah,
absolutely. And I asked that because I think that there's the business that we're exposed to and the rules that we have to navigate just when you leave your house. Mm-hmm. And then there's how things are conducted inside your house and inside your family and community. I'd imagine there's some cultural differences in how business is ran in real estate, in American business real estate. Yeah. And that might be a little bit different than how you were culturally raised, right? What are some of the differences, or maybe one or two differences you see that these are the rules of business? They says, get the money. It's all about the money, right? And versus what you know to have been and is part of your culture. Do you see any differences?
Like in the way they're integrated?
Anything that sticks out to you? Maybe you may or may not be aligned with it.
I mean, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. So you're saying like how business kind of works with the culture and how those things kind of work hand in hand together. Am I understanding that correctly?
You are, but I'll even give you an example. That way I don't have you shoot in the dark. Okay. So like culturally for me, the way I was raised, like one thing, the way I'm raised, right? In the African American community, if somebody, like if my mom's cool with somebody else's mom, then that means that they're my cousin.
Yeah.
And we're not blood cousin, but that's my cousin, right? That's how that goes. Yeah. Also, like in my culture, and I'm sure it's similar in other cultures. When I was younger, like if I was to mow my neighbor's lawn, we weren't like if I lived next door to you and I mowed your dad's lawn, I'm not allowed to take money. Yeah. Like if my mom found out I take money from your parents, she will whoop my butt. She would say, "You don't take money from those are your cousins." I'm like, "Mom, we never even been to Punjab.
Our cultures are so similar,
right?" And so I think of like things like this. So when I got older, as I grew in scale in real estate and business in general, even my relationship and understanding finance had to be different. That it's okay to take money.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and it's very different. So I had to learn that. I think I'm still learning it.
Yeah. I mean, it might just be me, but growing up in our family, and like the culture, like we were raised in and whatnot, it was just, I say our family was probably more risk tolerant. Right. And again, I feel like I'm just being like a broken record player at this point. I think it really just goes back to how our parents were. Their risk tolerance was like on another level. They came here with nothing. It's working super hard to get where they are today. And I think that's just kind of where we sit with that. It's just like the level of, work that you're going to put in. And of course, it's like the same thing you said, right? Like if we were going to a dinner right now, like, you got to leave your wallet at home. Yeah. Okay. I still remember like, especially when we met like that first time, I was like, no, I'm going to pay. And you were just like, I already paid for it. I was like, all right. Well.
That's how it goes. That's what we're taught.
You got to pay the waiter before the bill even comes.
You're fighting for it. You got to say, I'm going to use the bathroom. And they really go pay.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, man.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because I just have a variety of diverse background of friends, right? And I think about my friend, he's Punjabi. His name's Sigdeep from El Grove.
Okay.
One thing, and you kind of already touched on it already, that like in his family, everybody, like if somebody comes to the United States from back home, everybody helps that person and pours into that person. Yeah. And so like if your uncle's building a business, everybody pours into that and helps him out. And then when your dad starts building a business, everybody helps out like that. Yeah. That's not something that I see across the board culturally in the United States. But again, I see you and your brothers your brother and your cousin working together. Yeah. is there any truth to that culturally, or just am I off that culturally you help each other out?
I think that's very true, especially for us. It's like even if it wasn't business, right? Like even if it wasn't business, even if it was like, I don't know, helping like build a house or something, like something random like that. Like even if we were like little kids, obviously like I'm not going to know how to install a roof. I probably wouldn't physically be able to do it at the age of 5. But what I can do is help my dad out in other ways. Maybe it's like, go get him the tools he needs. Go get him like, that food he's been asking for, or like whatever it is. Like helping out in other ways, even if it's like indirectly helping them. So I think culturally, that's like growing up. It's very, very similar. It's you got to put your hand into something. You got to, figure out how you can be a value add to the family, a value add to the company, whatever it is. And I think that's one thing that applies to personal and business life. Like nobody likes somebody that just sits around and does nothing, right?
Or self.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Exactly.
I go by this quote all the time. I say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And there's so much more that could be crushed and dominated and won when you have the right people with the right buy-in and trustworthy individuals. You can go so much farther.
I think that's a huge thing of it. It's like, especially like my brother, my cousin, the family we have with this company. It's just like we can all trust each other, but we all have that same level of commitment because we all, want to help each other succeed and get to those goals that we've always like had planned out for ourselves and we want to make for ourselves, for our families, whatever it may be.
I totally agree. And I know you guys, when we've done a podcast with you and your brother and your cousin probably like 3 or 4 months back, and it was just dope how the collision of so many different talents and skill sets and the vision, and everybody buys in. I got the impression that if you're not bought in, you should be embarrassed.
Yeah,
exactly. If you're not committed, you should be embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one thing to like struggle and need help. Hey, everybody struggles. Everybody needs help. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit there and mope and cry? You're going to like get help, or you're going to ask for help. You know?
Yeah. When I look at, and I want to jump back into like the wholesaling concept, because that's something that you've committed your career so far in real estate to. I look at even with wholesaling, that's nothing new. But there are these concepts of like old school ways and new school ways, meaning the older school way of real estate had always been like, just be a real estate agent, be a real estate agent, get a suit, do open houses, put your signs out, tell everybody why you're the best real estate agent because I can sell your house fast.
Yeah.
Now we have these things where we have access to training, which you believe in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Continued education. You believe
coaching, mentorship. Like I've posted about it many times at this point. It's life-changing.
Okay, let's go there. Let's go there. When you say that coaching and mentorship is life-changing, what do you mean by that?
I mean that it gives you, it's like 2 things, right? It's a different perspective than what you might have seen. And B, it's also like a shortcut to what you want to do. I'm not saying like shortcut in terms of you don't have to do the work. I'm saying shortcut in terms of this is where this person screwed up on. Well, they're going to teach you how to fix that or how to not even have to go through that and how you can just bypass all of that. But if you were to screw up, they'll be there to help you too. I value coaching. Like our program that we go through, Results Driven. Our coach, Aaron Letty. It's like corny to say, but it's like life changing. Like we don't get paid to say this, but it really is. Like they've helped us like so much to like get us to the point where we are, and we always give them a shout outs because it's like we wouldn't be where we are without that mentorship, without that guidance. Because especially when you're putting all this money into something, you might as well put it into something that's going to help you long term versus like something that's just not going to be as useful to you in the future life.
Agreed. You spoke earlier about when you were making that transition from, you spent all that time in college, and then you got a job very likely that would be most people's dream job. And then at some point you took a flight with your brothers and cousins to a training course that they were involved in. Yeah. And you said you knew when you were there that this was the right decision, meaning let go of the side of the pool, work in corporate America, jump over to the entrepreneurial grind. Yeah. And take that path. Your whole life had led you academic. I'm sure your parents said, go to school, get good grades. Go to school, get good grades. And you did that well. Obviously, that's why you finished Sac State, right? And then at some point, you abandoned everything that your parents had trained you for, and that the education system trained you for, and you said, yeah. Right? So talk to me about that moment as it relates to coaching and training that helped you understand that, yes, it's time for me to make the next progressive step, which is to do something I never prepared to do.
I mean, I will say that, of course, the guys, like, of course, like, jump-started this whole thing. Like, I give them all the credit in the world for what they have done. Like, they jump-started all of this. They showed me, like, hey, this is, like, what we're doing, and this is what we're going to be capable of. Are you down for this ride? And I was just at the point where it's like, yeah, it's what's the harm in doing it? Especially, I get everybody's situations in life is different. Like, some scenarios you just can't, drop everything. You can't just like leave your 9-to-5 job and, and then be in that position where it's like, all right, I might not have a check next month if we don't perform as we need to.
I can't feed the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, luckily, I'm in that position in my life where I can take those risks, and so are the guys. So it just only made sense. Like, I only have one life to live, so do the guys. Like, and we get told all the time too, like how you mentioned, like people always come up to us like, hey, like I've never ever seen like a trio of brothers like work together in a company like that, and then people like what you said earlier, like people always like say like, I would never be able to stand 5 minutes working with my brother. I can barely stand 5 minutes of being beside him. And for us, I think it's just like it's just very different because we've all grown up together, grown up in the same house. And even when we were little kids, there was like double digits worth of people just packed into one house. And like I think it was like a 2-1, 3-2 home growing up. So we're always just like super close, and we're just like, why not take the next step? Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Well, no, let me go there. Everybody thinks that you all three are brothers. For the record, you're not triplets. You're not all brothers. You have one brother and one cousin, but everybody calls you guys the brothers.
Yeah. That's how we prefer to be called, because we treat each other like brothers. Yeah. It's not like,
bingo.
Of course, like Peach is our cousin and whatnot, but he's like my brother at the end of the day. He's Almond's brother at the end of the day. And that will never be taken from us.
It will never be.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's where the power comes from, man. That is. I'm telling you, you guys always really blow me away.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
So when I go back to old school, new school concepts of real estate, right? So like I said, we're talking about real estate agents, hanging signs, doing open houses. This wholesaling component and this training and being able to scale a business, that's not information that was always available. And so when you look at like social media, you see even other people doing similar things, your competitors out there, others trying to get into the industry.
Yeah.
What do you think about this new structure of real estate, how it looks, being able to dispo properties online, being able to get data that allow you to find properties, right? Because let's do it like this. Wholesaling is nothing new, but it used to look something like, not at all. It used to look something like this. You drive by a house that looks dilapidated, you go knock on the door, you leave your business card. Hopefully you write it down and you circle back, or hopefully somebody calls you.
Yeah.
That's not going to be able to bear you as much results as you can do today. Now you can scale. You can get access data. You can have a list of individuals that you know are likely to buy and sell. Talk to me a little bit about the transition of what you know to be the old school and then the new school business of real estate.
So when I first started on, we were getting to the point where we're getting more like what you call like inbound leads, and inbound leads basically when somebody reaches out to you to sell their home.
Versus outbound.
Which is like,
define the two.
So outbound, of course, is like, you hear in the movies all the time, like cold calling, SMS, which I know is getting like super regulated. A lot of people don't do anymore. Door knocking. This is going out of your way to produce a lead. And inbound is more of like it's channels where you basically pay for marketing and you pay for those leads to contact you.
Which do you prefer, inbound or outbound?
Oh, inbound.
Inbound all day. Yeah, I know.
I mean, I know people that, of course, have been successful off of cold calling and door knocking and stuff. I know we were talking with Luke earlier, but it's you want to get to the point where, those things are great for outbound, but you want to get to the point where you can have enough resources, have enough money to bring you those hotter, warmer leads. Because I know people that will run like 10 VAs like out in the Philippines, and then they probably have like one person in-house, or it's just them in-house, and they're they're like doing 10 different things. They're doing the dispo, they're doing the acquisitions, doing the marketing, they're doing the operations, they're doing the transaction coordinator stuff. But it's all about like, just comes back to like having a system at the end of the day. I don't know if I answered your question.
No,
I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but
I like it. So we were talking about inbound and outbound.
Yeah.
And so essentially, and I'll double down on it. In any form of business, you know, the outbound leads are, I mean, you have to define what a lead is, right? But you have like cold outreach, you have warm outreach. That means you're emailing, you're door knocking, you're sending flyers, you're going to networking events, you're paying for a billboard. That's all really like outbound. But the forms of inbound leads are a variety of different activities, but essentially the lead is brought to you.
Yeah.
So once the lead is brought to you, now all you have to do is close, not only thing, but you once you close on that lead, meaning this person, I want to sell my house.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus you knocking on every door and say, hey, do you want to sell? Hey, do you want to sell? Hey, do you want to sell? You have to essentially, I think data out there says that you have to hit 100 doors just to get one person to have the conversation about even selling the house, right? But when the lead is inbound and it's a hot lead, they call you, they say, hey, I want to sell my house, but it has to be the right price. Yeah. That's a conversation I'd love to have.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's where it comes down to, of course, is having like that connection, that building that rapport. Building a rapport is the biggest thing, especially when it comes to somebody with distress that wants to sell quick. They have to A, trust you, and B, also just understand the process. I think, those are the biggest things. Like, as long as you can do all those things, you'll have a pretty successful company. Obviously, it gets a lot more detail, but just keep it surface level. That's, I would say the way to go. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that's very, very important to me is always about people that are just getting into real estate. Because when I first got into real estate, I had a mentor, but when I got into real estate investing, I didn't. I really had to let go of the side of the pool, just throw stuff at the wall, see if it stuck. Yeah. And then I became an advent person of being self-taught, reading, picking up books. And as we continue to grow, you guys had a phenomenal meetup about 2 Saturdays ago. I missed it. I was freaking out.
I know. I was going to say, man.
I know.
It would have been phenomenal if you were there.
I know. It hurt, but I had to go see some family.
It's all good.
Phenomenal. You guys had a phenomenal event where you empowered a lot of people. A lot of people that I'm part of a community of, they all were there, and you guys are always sharing information. As real estate grows, if real estate investing grows, you see that information is more accessible. That's when I say old school versus new school. Yeah. Because a lot of these concepts in business, if your dad or somebody you didn't know was already in business, you weren't going to find this information out. Now the information is more readily available. Yeah. And knowledge is power. And that's the realm of real estate we're getting into when we get more involved in ChatGPT and AI and chatbots. You got to adapt. Facebook, you got to adapt. Yeah. So it doesn't get any easier, but you have abilities to do it more seamlessly.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say right now. It's like, you can make it more simple in a way. Yeah. If you do utilize these resources. Like, regulations, all those things come up. Yeah. You just have to adjust and pivot. And that's what we have to do all the time. Like, regulation comes up. Well, we can sit there and complain about it, or we can sit there and change the way we operate this one thing to make sure that we're still ahead of the curve in whatever we're doing.
Agreed.
So that's true.
Talk to me about somebody that's looking to get into real estate investing, not to become an agent, but they want to get into real estate investing. And they say, I want to start my first flip, or I want to wholesale. I'm not sure. I frequently hear people say, man, well, maybe I'll wholesale because it may have a lower cost of entry. Yeah. Right? Because if I flip, I have to have the money to buy the home, the deposit, construction costs, rehab costs, holding costs, closing costs, and there's a lot.
It's expensive really quick.
It's expensive. Yeah. It's cash intensive on the front end. Yeah. And where I'm going to, for somebody that comes from very humble beginnings, where can I get this capital? The whole reason why I'm trying to get into real estate investing is because I don't have any money. Yeah. Right? So I hear a lot of individuals say, well, I'm going to start wholesaling. If you were to give somebody advice right now that knows very little about real estate agency, I know the first thing you would say was join a community, get some coaching, right? Yeah. But short of getting some coaching, would you advise somebody to get into wholesaling first or flipping?
Wholesaling.
Wholesaling.
Every single day of the week, I say wholesaling.
Why is that?
It's so many different things. I mean, flipping, it's like, you can't even get into flipping unless, of course, you have like capital into it. Of course, there's like certain things like private money, hard money, and whatnot. And if you partner up with somebody, but just to keep it brief, like, you of course have to put in something and get something out. And it's just like what you said earlier, like wholesaling is a lot less intensive in that. So And it's cheaper on the capital front. Like, it's, in my opinion, one of the last, like, how do you phrase this? Like, last entrepreneurial paths you can take. That's such a low barrier cost of entry, but such a high return if you do it well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that also just comes down to, I mean, I would say wholesaling just because it's like, you're building so many different skills at once. You're building the skills to talk to people. You're building the skills to, you know, sell the property. You're also building the skills to probably market out the property, whatever it is. And you're also getting the cheapest form of the property. Like, the wholesaler gets it the cheapest at the end of the day, because if I'm going to dispo it out to somebody, I got to make something on it too. So if you want that property as cheap as possible, even if you want to flip it, you should start off with wholesaling, because you're just simply getting that property even cheaper.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more stepping stones in the wholesaling path. Yeah, there's more that goes into it, but if you really want to do it for the long term and not just like short term success, I think wholesaling is the way, and you have to stick to it.
You have, okay.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up, because full transparency. I mean, I got a good relationship with you and your brothers.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Bobby and a ton of other wholesalers that have. I just got love for them. Let's just leave it at that, right? I think that what happens is when I look at wholesaling, I see in our market, let's say Northern California, it seems to be that there's 100,000 Facebook groups, 100,000 Instagram accounts, 100,000 people wholesaling. Never ending. But when you look at the those that are actively, consistently doing business in wholesaling successfully, it's actually very few.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always the same names, right?
It's because I think it just simply comes down to A, how you market yourself, and B, how consistent you stay with it.
You have to stay with it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that you have to pick a skill. You have to stick to it.
Yeah.
When I think about wholesaling, I always tell people it's great to get in.
Yeah.
But you have to be ready to go the distance. Meaning you still do need to come up with some capital at some point. So you find one deal, right?
Yeah, still not like, I won't say it's like free. Like, you'll never spend a single cent on a transaction just because you're doing outbound. But yeah, I agree with what you say.
Okay, how about this? Let's try it. Let's take it like this way. If you was to give a blueprint, right? If you was to give a blueprint, just say to me, all right? So I'm just getting into real estate. I don't know anything, right? And I want to get into wholesaling. If I come up with $5,000, how can I ensure that I at least stay above water and do a few deals in my first 12 months?
Man, so many different avenues you could take the answer. It's a good question, though. I know some people might disagree with me out there, but A, you either do door knocking or you start off with cold calling. If you really, really don't want to door knock, then cold call. Probably start off with some of, like, it doesn't sound bad. Some people probably won't agree with this, but start off with like some of the cheapest lists you can get. Probably don't spend a whole bunch on it. Just get like a bulk list just to like train yourself up.
How much? Give me a monetary amount.
I mean, if you're spending like 2-3 cents on a record, I mean, I can't do the math in my head, but yeah, you're getting like, I don't know, like let's say like 5,000 records, 5,000 to 10,000 records. Okay. Skip trace those, and depending on the company you use, of course, you'll get it skip traced on top of that, maybe even for free. So yeah, I don't know. That probably puts you at like, if my math is right, probably like $300 to $500. It could be more. And then of course you have like your dialer systems, which I honestly think you don't need to go super crazy with. To do something simple, get like a, couple of smartphone numbers. And smartphone, by the way, is like a website you use for like calling. But yeah, get a couple of those, and then you just really gain the skill from there. Like, you might be dealing with some of the coldest leads, but A, it's the least capital intensive, and B, you'll gain those skills of like dealing with the no's. You'll deal with those skills of dealing with, those people telling you to F you, like F off, whatever it is. You're gaining the alligator skin, to say the least. And then from there, of course, you start slowly scaling it upwards. Maybe you hire a VA, pay them like $5, $6, $7 an hour from the Philippines, whatever it may be. And
go on Upwork, go on a few different sites.
Exactly. And then have them cold call for you. They bring in those little bit of like those warmer leads, warm to hot leads, and then you take it from there. I think that's how you just in my opinion, probably the best way to scale it. There's so many different answers on that question. Though. I've heard everything across the. When I hear people say like, "Oh, just save up like 30,000-40,000 and just drop it on like PPC," I don't think that's the best way to do it.
You
personally,
blow that 30,000 so quickly.
Yeah, especially if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you don't have the systems, the processes, the skills. Like the person that has those things, they're gonna beat you out.
Pressure every time. And the reason why I bring that up is because I think that I'm always trying to set the right expectations. And I never want to be misguiding anybody. So when people ask me about wholesaling, I always say, no, it's good, but you're probably better off going to work for somebody first that's doing it and work for free, right? Yeah. But when you look at the training you and your brothers have gone through, and I've watched you guys for some time. You guys are crushing it, kicking in gear. The social media, the events you guys just had, you have the results.
I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. There's 3 people that have crazy buy-in. Take the money off the table. Crazy buy-in. Crazy enough to think that they have a shot at success. Just crazy. And they keep showing up every day. Some days, deals aren't going through. Some days, you guys aren't even covering your monthly costs. It gets tough.
It'll get scary very quick.
It gets scary. And so that's the part that it's hard for me to impress upon somebody when I say that, hey, this is what it takes.
Yeah.
So I never tried to discourage them from going that route. But I think that I can't put in words how much commitment and work you're going to have to put in to get this. Now, you can get it.
Yeah.
So when I do meet people, when I meet people that say they want to get into wholesaling, I always tell them, go work for somebody. You need to go see.
Yeah.
You need to go see what it looks like. You need to see that just randomly for 2 weeks in a month, you won't turn a single deal. And then the next week you'll turn 4, right? And being able to have those accountability partners, that training of people that have done it before you. Now, so let me ask you like this. Is it in hindsight, you can say it's easy? Or if I was somebody who's just starting real estate, you share with me what you share with me, do you think that in 9 out of 10, the probability of somebody going through that system without training, without an accountability partner, without the skill set you had that your parents impressed upon you, do you think that most people would make it through? Or do they make it through?
I mean, I'm only speaking of the people that I've seen like super successful in this industry. And a lot of them say the same things. You have to have resilience. And B, you have to be willing to get beat up on the phones, whatever it is, beat up, not give up in person, but
it is beat up. Don't call my effing phone again. Call my phone again. I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna kick your ass. That's what they said. Some of them say that.
Yeah, no, it'll get rough very fast. But I mean, this is like a different level of like discipline and that you have to have into it. And that's why a lot of people say too. It's like wholesaling is great. In terms of like what you said, like you should like, of course, like spend 2 weeks, maybe be on the field with somebody at a flip property, like with Jake or something, and to see how this whole thing actually like works, just see if you're actually interested in it. Yeah. Because it sounds all sexy on paper and whatnot.
Yeah, tell them.
It sounds all sexy on paper and whatnot, but once you're actually like doing it and you're doing it consistently, that's when like the tough parts really do start to come out of it. But yeah, I'm sorry. What was your question again? I feel like I'm going on these random tangents. I get like very into like the answer. And I'm like, all right.
You delivered it correctly. I think, and I think you showed charity by providing a whole lot of clarity. Right? Yeah. But you can do anything you set your mind to.
Yeah,
you can do anything. But real estate it can be very simple.
Yeah,
but it's tough.
Yeah,
and to be able to, and I'm acknowledging you and your brothers for what you guys have been able to get accomplished in such a short period of time. I've never seen that. To be honest with you, I've never seen it. And I've been at this about 7 years. Never seen it. Never seen it. Very few.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I mean, always appreciate your support and anybody else that supports us along the way. It's not, like we always say, it's like, it's not easy at all.
How many hours you put in a day?
At this point, like 9 to 10 hours a day.
Okay, so
But of course, that doesn't include the random things that pop up after hours and the week. And
You wake up with your phone
the
like
weekends
this.
too. But
As soon as you wake up, your phone's in your face like this.
yeah, your eyes like start getting dilated.
Yeah.
You feel like you can't even see. The other day, I'm like, man, I feel like I need to go to doctors. I'm like staring at like these screens so much.
And you know, I want to set the record straight.
Yeah,
I am a proponent. I mean, I get deals from wholesalers. Right? My best friends are wholesalers, right? Yeah. I'm a coach. I'm an accountability coach, and I'm somebody that's fighting for the underdog and for those that want to get into real estate. And so I have to keep having this conversation with people that I know, like, and trust. That way, if my perspective is off, then I can correct it as I'm being used as a messenger to the people that are my audience. Yeah. And I don't want to have any bias on my own perspective. And I think that I don't think that I've moved since this conversation, being that when I look at somebody getting into real estate, right? If they say, look, I have no money and I wanted to get in real estate, well, the first thing I tell them is you don't need to flip or wholesale. You need to go get a job. You need to go get a job that allows you to say, hey, I'm going to call my guy Carr I met on Instagram, find you on Instagram, so you doing your work. Hey, I would love to take you out to dinner to learn more about real estate. Yeah. So you can take $80 and go take them for a nice meal. Go get a job so you can keep gas in your car. So when you go do door knocking, you can go, your registration pay, your insurance pay, now you can go door knock. Yeah. When you go to somebody's house and it sounds like it's a hot lead and you say, hey, can I come back next Tuesday? You can run to Starbucks, have a seat on their couch, and they'll allow you to make yourself at home and you can talk to them about the process. Yeah. But if you say you have no money, I don't think you have any business even trying to see that's the trick. It's the question they're really asking is, I want to be successful and I don't want to put nothing up. Yeah, it's like no, you have to put something up. Yeah. And then you think, look, all right, look, I can put very little up, $200. Carr just gave you guys the whole blueprint, so make sure you took notes, right? He told you about how to find lists for pennies on a dime, right? He told you how to hire a VA. He told you how to really vertically integrate your whole little system and stay at it and get thick skin. Gave you the whole concept of it, right? So you have all those components, and then you start dialing, and then you have to go compete against this guy who drove to Folsom every day, Sac State every day, dog. And his brothers, I know his brothers. They're not, none of them are playing. When you go to their office and you guys have red tape at your office? What's the red tape?
Oh man. I mean, something we also learned from our coach too, but it's just basically we put this piece of red tape at the front door of the office. Anytime you walk past it, you leave all your bullshit behind the, sorry if I can't cuss.
No, please.
Yeah. So you just leave all like the BS behind the red tape because at the end of the day, especially being like family, it's right. Like personal discussions and whatnot might come up, but you got to take it outside if you're going to take it. Yep. If it's really that important. Yep. Or otherwise, just wait until the end of the day.
Because we're here for business, and this is a business that depends on us. And every second that goes by, there's a competitor out there, there's a lead that we're not getting, and as you grow, your overhead increases.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like a huge thing too. Of course, we treat our employees like family and whatnot. So it's like, if they ever want to talk about something, whatever it is, like, hey, like pull me to the side. But, just the office is the office at the end of the day. Yeah. But if you need to talk about something, we'll go talk about it outside, whatever it is. So it's got to be separate from the work environment. Yeah. So it's just being able to divide those two things and understand it. And everybody understands it very well, especially in the office. Like, even our VAs, they understand it very well. Like, we'll give them, like, I know my brother is really good at this, and he'll give, like, his VA time to just, like 20, 30 minutes or so, like, every one or 2 weeks, just to kind of, like, talk about life. And that's a big thing for us, is especially, like, I know, especially a lot of these companies, they'll talk about, like, oh, we're huge, we're family and whatnot, but they probably don't even know that their employee has a sibling. Man, they don't have a sibling, this and that.
To the 49er games, to dinner. I'm telling you, if you guys want to start real estate investing and you have what it takes, go to there. You learn everything. You get to party too.
I know we're going to have a whole DJ. We're going to have this over there
for sure. And, shout out to you too, because I the early month of late December, early January, I was sick. I got my appendix taken out, so I was down for a while. Oh, man. I was going through some stuff, some health things. And I got home one day, and there was like this box at my door. And I opened it up. You guys sent me a very generous Christmas gift, and I wanted to personally tell you thank you so much. And that is how You do business.
Yeah. Exactly.
That is how you connect with people. That's how you build trust.
Exactly.
That's how you show people you care. And that is how you care about people. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, man. I mean,
I'm still tearing that chocolate up, man.
Hey, I know that I know you sent us some birthday gifts. You got us dinner a couple of times, whatever it is. I mean, that's like the least we can do. And yeah, just to kind of, double up on that is, even if you don't have the money to go ahead and like spend on gifts, whatever it is, like whatever you're new to the industry, whatever it might be, like at the end of the day, the leads are the most important. Your business is the most important. But even like a nice, like, hey, hope you're doing well. We haven't talked in a while,
Yep. And you always,
I love to catch up, this and that, and that's something I'm always working to get better on too. I mean, I take myself as somebody that's like more introverted to begin with. But it's something that's kind of like brought me on my shell, because guys like you or whoever I might be meeting that day, like, I'm like, man, I don't know if I like want to go, because I don't feel like I kind of have like that weird butterfly feeling in my stomach, whatever it is, for like meetups, meeting guys like you, anybody in the space. And I think it just comes down to just doing it. Like, I obviously haven't been in this industry super long, but from my experiences, and I've yet to have one bad experience, like meeting up with somebody in person and just like having a coffee with them.
Yep. You have a great reputation.
Yeah. Just even if when I was brand new, or even being like intermediate like I am now, it goes both ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about another thing too. It's like, I mean, I do a lot of networking, right? And people call me all the time like, hey, I'm looking for this deal, or I have a soft market deal, or they'll call me and say, hey, I'm looking at this deal, I'm trying to analyze it, I want to write an offer on it. I'm like, all right, well, who sent you the deal? They say, I buy Central Valley. I said, get them on the phone right now. Call them. Because you guys' reputation is rock solid. But again, people like to work with people like and trust. So what I'm saying here, from a business perspective, anybody not even looking at wholesaling, I don't know a lot about anything, but I know a little bit about a lot, right? And what I'm saying is that I don't care what business you're in. Business is about people. The first time you think it's not, well, you choose that path. And what I'm saying is that, like, in business, one of my mentors taught me that there's 3 meetings. Mm-hmm. There's the meeting before the meeting. Mm-hmm. There's the meeting, and then there's the meeting after the meeting, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so before somebody gets fired, me and Carl, we don't work together, but we work together. We'll sit together and we'll talk. Well, look, man, my guy Zach Conklin. Do we fire Zach? Do we keep him? Do we fire him? And you'll say, man, I don't know about Zach. And I'll say, man, I mean, he's kind of good. And what do we do? And then we go to the meeting. Hey, Zach, nice meeting, right? Yeah. He gets fired or we keep him. Mm-hmm. And then there's the after meeting of, did we do the right thing, or should we bring him back? Should we send him a severance package? If somebody calls in for a referral based off his new job, how do we handle that, right? Mm-hmm. So there's always 3 meetings. And so when I say about the meeting after the meeting and the before the meeting, those are meetings we typically aren't a part of. Mm-hmm. And I say that because your reputation is so important. Before people meet you and even after people meet you, oftentimes there's conversation being had about you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you want to grow in real estate, if you want to grow in any business, and you think you're going to conduct yourself in an unethical manner, in a selfish manner, right?
It's a very small role.
Yeah.
It's very small.
Be a bully, be promiscuous, be shady, be any of these things. You do not realize if I told you how many times somebody's brought your name up to me, I always say, call him. That's my bro. Call him. Yeah. Really, truly, because
I appreciate that. And likewise, it goes both ways, though. It goes both ways.
Come on. And so that's my advice. I think that there's 2 pieces of advice that I want to give somebody that's looking about growing in real estate. If you don't have any money, go get a job. Mm-hmm. Go get a job and start attending free meetups. Yeah, start watching all of the I Buy Central Valley's content. That's all you have to do. Just watch their content. You don't have to ask them. Watch all their content, and after that, watch all their content again. They're always going to drop the clues. Right? So you get the job to keep your lights on, so you can go to meetups, you can take a guy like Carl out to lunch, right? Mm-hmm. But kind of leverage some time if you're doing the right things, right? Because people like to help people that are working hard at their dreams. Yeah. Go to all the free meetups that you can go to. But more than anything, understand who you are and how you want to communicate yourself socially, digitally, right? Emotionally, orally, how you want to communicate.
It's like, as corny as it sounds, is be yourself.
Well,
and continue to improve upon yourself. Because I know what I say,
but you're a great guy, so I know what you're saying. Definitely be yourself.
Yeah.
But I always go back to that meeting before the meeting and the meeting after the meeting. Conversations always be had, and you don't know how many doors will be closed on you. Yeah. Or I don't know how many times somebody called me and said, "Hey, I want to shoot you this deal. I heard you could take it down." Oh, sure, send it over to me. And they say, "Oh yeah, Zach Conklin told me you guys are pretty good friends and that you would take it down. I want to get it done quick."
Yeah, shout out. I don't know if Zach's there, but shout out to you, Zach. I know
the meeting.
He's a great guy, bro. I like that guy.
Oh, solid.
Yeah.
But back to the meeting before the meeting and reputation, right? So get a job.
Yeah.
Work hard at that job. Ingest all the free education information through social media. Go to events. Yeah. Use that job to leverage your time off and build relationships, right? Start paying for some mentorship.
That's why they call it 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9.
That's my boy Brian Jacob. That's his favorite saying. Right on. We've been going for an hour and 6 minutes already. What I want to do is I want to make sure that we get a good Q&A.
Yeah.
We have Instagram in today, and we also have Deal Mastery 201. I want to start with Deal Mastery 201, so I'll bring the laptop over here. We'll get them all tuned up because I know some people have some Q&As. For all those that are channeling in through Instagram, if you have any questions to my brother here regarding anything, more particularly though wholesaling, now's the time to ask. Him and his brothers, they're phenomenal. They're straight shooters. They're here to help and really trying to grow this community. They're doing a great job. So go ahead and drop in the comment section any questions you have.
Yes, sir.
What's your guys' process like for when you're raising private money aside from hard money, like reaching out to investors? What does that process look like for you guys?
I mean, it's right now for us where it's still, we've been gathering private money for a bit now, but of course it's like the usual stuff, just like social media. I think social media honestly is like the biggest one for us. Like you'll be surprised how many people will sit here and like be open to giving you private money just because you asked for it on Instagram. But that, and of course, just reaching out to our local contacts, like whether it's people like that we have in our phone book, like family, friends, whatever it may be, that person from high school that you haven't talked to in forever, but they probably see all the deals that you do online. That's a huge thing too. And even just like in random spaces. We'll go to for the airport, to example, I remember Elman, he raised close to just about 6 figures in, private money just because he sparked up a conversation with this random guy that was sitting right next to him. Just, anytime you're at the bar or you're going to a golf course, a nice event, or just whatever, you'll be surprised at how many people are willing to, lend with you, because at the end of the day, it's like a whole mindset thing too, right? Whenever you're getting private money, don't think of it as you're asking for it. You're more so offering somebody else an opportunity. Yeah. So if you go into it with the mindset that you're I'm, trying to take something from them, then it's going to be hard to pitch it. It's not going to seem natural, but, as long as you just go into hey, this is what we do, we're offering 12, 13% on this. If you're open to it, great. If not, then, I completely understand. We have a couple other people waiting in line because, these opportunities only just come by often. Mm-hmm. So,
and nobody's getting 13% passively on their money sitting.
Yeah.
Not historically.
Yeah.
Right?
It sits in a high yield savings account. It's dropped ever since COVID. I think it's mine is at 3.8% or something like that.
Come on. Inflation's outperforming it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's just it's just reminding people at the end of the day, they're just making money from doing absolutely nothing besides signing a contract. Agreed. And, everything going to escrow and yeah.
Are you guys sending over to whoever that private money lender is a credibility packet of some sort?
Yeah.
So let me repeat that question. So
similar?
Zach asked if in the relationships that iBuy Central Valley has with individuals, that do they send a credibility package to their investors? Because for those of you that are watching, those that are tune in later, if you're looking to park some money somewhere or invest somewhere, definitely reach out to these guys. We're going to make sure we get all their information
Appreciate it, man.
This session. But again, to answer that question, you were saying, do you guys send out a credibility package?
Yeah. Well, of course, we'll send out a credibility package on how exactly the process works and what it is like to work with us. And it's also just a thing where people will have just trusted us at this point because they've had a good experience, so it's just a word of mouth. So a lot of people don't need credibility packages. I say just make one. If you need ChatGPT or whatever to make it for you, do it, but just send it out to them anyway. at the end of the day, it's in the word. It just makes you more credible.
Yeah. Well, and I have a question, and I don't mean to jump in front of Deal Master 201, but how important is it to have the right systems in a business? Or what do systems, SOPs mean for you?
They're everything, but I will also say don't get so stuck on it, especially when you're just starting, because otherwise you're just gonna be in this like constant frenzy of like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta make these SOPs, I gotta create this system. Especially if you're brand new to it, just start. You're gonna learn these things along the way. But for what we're doing now, and like just the majority of the people that are like pretty successful with this wholesaling stuff, systems, SOPs are everything. And I like, some of you guys might know him, some of you guys might not, but Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time.
Great book.
Great book. Yeah. So it's like stuff like he always preaches about, of course, like in the title of the book, like buying back your time. Highly recommend that book. Such a great book in terms of like
phenomenal book.
It's so under. I feel like they should put it in schools at this point.
Yeah, it teaches you how,
especially when you're in college and you're about to like, you're about to go into like your adulthood and like whatnot. You might as well.
I agree. Read that book.
Yeah.
If you're looking to bring on even how to manage an assistant and how to delegate.
Yeah.
One of the things I learned in that book, and I'm glad you brought that up, is I didn't know how fearful I was to delegate.
Yeah, exactly. So I was the same way. I was the same exact way. It's like even small stuff like to us, like emails, for example. You're like, I would never trust anybody with my email account. But now it's like we are comfortable doing that, and you'll be surprised at how capable a lot of these like VAs are. It's like they're really, really good at what they do.
They're better than you at some things than you are.
No, honestly, we learn things from them.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And people, I think it's kind of, people don't assume that they can trust them because it's like, A, somebody on the other side of the world, and B, you're paying them such a low amount, they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But for them, it's everything as long as you treat it like a true relationship.
Yes. Shout out to my admin, Connie. Man, she does things that I could never do. I'm like, how'd you do that?
Yeah, I guarantee she's probably like a lifesaver.
A lifesaver.
Yeah.
She was like, did you go to your doctor's appointment yesterday at 3?
Yeah.
Because Buy Back Your Time teaches you how to get out of your calendar.
Yeah. Get out of your calendar. And there's so many small tips and tricks you'll learn from that book. And also look at like Hormozy. Everybody, I feel like everybody at this point knows who Alex Hormozy is, but look at him. But especially like Dan Martell, if you Google his like YouTube channel, you'll learn so much about just.
You're so right.
Like you think you can't delegate that task, but he will show you a way.
Yes.
And it's very, very interesting. I promise you. Just spend 20 minutes watching his content, you'll be glued.
Mindset, framework.
Everything.
And shout out to his wife, Layla Hormozy, as well.
Yeah.
She's crushing awesome. It. But I mean, I think that any young lady, she teaches for everybody. She doesn't discriminate. But any young lady looking for somebody to really coin their strategies and growing a business in this in any industry, watch Layla, man. She's dynamic.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah.
Agreed. Deal Master 201, any other questions?
What's the biggest challenge you faced in wholesaling? I know we talked about, the process of it a little bit and, getting good deals at a low price, but like what's some challenges that you guys are currently facing or something that was super challenging? I know you touched on the Oakland one, but like what's a business challenge like with the process or something you guys are even looking for in your business that maybe one of us may run across in our journey that we can help bring to your business or help you guys with?
That's a really good question, actually.
Who asked that question, Leonard?
Yeah, that was Leonard. That was a really, really good question. I think a lot of it, I know other companies face it too, but just like the consistency part of it and being able to have deals consistently. Like I know we were, of course, at like the point of, I feel like every business ever like that has ran pretty like decently is like has gone through this, and it's like the whole phase of you feel like you're doing great, you feel like on top of the world, but then you have like a downturn, and you feel like leads might be slowing down, you might not be converting them as much as you used to. I think it's just developing that mental mindset that you're just gonna get through it.
Yeah,
you're gonna get through it. These things happen, and I promise you, I feel like just about anybody in the wholesaling space has experienced this, but you're gonna have those like weeks, those months where you're not hitting your goals. But at the end of the day, it's just making sure that you have, just like we always talk about, the systems, the SOPs, the processes in place, constant role plays, for example, especially like if you're the one making the calls, if you have anybody else making the calls, whatever it is, just consistency upon your training and consistency upon like improving like your SOPs, your standard order of procedures. Yeah. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you. And then the second part of it is like, we're all at different places in our journey.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good about sharing, meetups and things like that for people. But like, what's something that, us, as we're trying to partner with you or help you along your journey, and as well as you help us, it's like something that we could, bring to the table, or that you guys are looking for, that we could help add value to your company.
That's a really good question. I mean, at the end of the day, man, for us, it's, of course, we want to give back as much as possible, right? But we're, of course, like just like anybody else in the world, we're looking for deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, just constantly like reaching out to us for like, if you have like a deal you might have, we can help you out, you can help us out type of thing. Like, I know we've done deals in the past, right? We're actually doing deals right now where it's like somebody might have a deal but they don't have the finances to close on it. Like, we've been doing a bunch of like JVing and like flipping, especially this year. Like last month alone, we've already locked down more flips than we did all of last year. So
okay, so like JV opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. That's like huge for us. Like, just like those deals that you feel like it's a deal, but you might not have the funds to close on it, or you might not have a buyer that you can really get the deal assigned to, whatever it is. I'm more than happy to, as long as the numbers make sense, like happy to help you find a buyer for it, or we can buy ourselves, whatever it is, just to make it work out both ways. But yeah, I'd say that's probably like, the thing that everybody looks for, and especially we're looking for right now. But yeah, just like in general, like Leonard, any of you guys on here, you guys ever need help running comps, running ARV, let me know. I know that's like a huge thing, especially right now, just with how like the market is. It's a little weird to run numbers and whatnot. But yeah.
I have another question. When you look at wholesaling, how difficult is it? You're in dispo. How difficult is it for any wholesaler or anybody growing in wholesaling or important is it to create a dispo list, an email list, an email blast? Is it easy to get rid of deals, or does it take some skills? Not for you.
No. I mean, it'll still take. I got a lot I can improve at the end of the day. I know I'm not like great at what I do. I can always be better. But yeah, you should have like some sort of list. I mean, especially like right now we use like Podio that's where we store all our like seller leads, all our cash buyers, whatever it is. We put it all in Podio. That's the CRM we use. But especially if you're just starting out, just put your buyers list in like an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, whatever is free, Google Sheets, that's really good too. And if you feel like you can't move the deal, it's hard to move, then reach out to somebody at JV. And, like my guys are always open in JV, or if you guys choose somebody else to JV with, find somebody that works for you. I think that's like the biggest thing, just making sure you can get the deal moved. And especially your first couple of wholesale deals, honestly, you might not find a buyer for it. And that's okay. Just JV with somebody, get help for it.
Right.
And then once you do start building out that consistent buyers list, then you can start, making those 100% assignment fees for yourself once you're, fully molded into what you want in terms of your buyers list. But yeah, I mean, honestly, every deal we don't like, some of them are just more difficult to dispo than others, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that we dispo every single one, because that's just not the reality of it. You lock up a contract and then you go to the seller's house. The house isn't what the seller said it was. And then it's like a whole list of things, but just choose your people wisely.
DM201, anybody else have a question for my guy?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah. What's up, Brian?
What's going on? How you doing?
Good. Is Brian Valencia?
No, Brian B.
Brian. Okay. Gotcha. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. So I got one. So what's the hidden opportunity in the market that you see nobody's really talking about?
Man, that's a really good question. You guys got some really good.
Brian always has good questions. He always has the good questions.
Oh man, hidden opportunities. Dude, honestly, door knocking. I think that's such a hidden gem at this point. I think because everybody's like so caught up in the whole doing PPC, doing direct mail, whatever it is, which is great. But I know like successful wholesale companies right now to this day that are still door knocking because of how successful they can be with it. Obviously, it takes more time. Obviously, it's not the most efficient thing in the world, but it's such an underrated gem. I really don't think there's anything like more personable with door knocking, just because you're dealing with people in distressed situations. You're dealing with people that need that comfort and that understanding that whoever's on the other side of that door is going to be able to help them. And there's really no better way to do that than being in person. I mean, especially for our guys, like, we don't door knock, but we make it a thing to make sure that we set in-person appointments, just because we've been so successful with it. And I feel like even if you're going to battle like 3-4 other wholesalers, but they never went to meet that person, you're the one that's going to get the deal, even if they're offering more.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed. So yeah, I mean, that's like one hidden gem I will say that I've seen, like, it's working really well for a lot of wholesalers right now.
When I look at sales, when I look at how business is about people, there's two components that I see come up a lot in this industry. We look at high tech. Yeah. We look at innovative ways that you use technology to be faster and have a competitive and comparative advantage, right, to your competitors, right? But there's high tech, but then there's high touch. And you can put as much tech behind something, but if that tech is not complemented with a good touch of communication, exactly. That's a perfect way to put it, and making people feel the way they want to be feel, because they say don't treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Yeah, and I think we get that wrong sometimes. Like, I would never do that, so that's why I did that. Well, that's not his thing. And
exactly. And that's why for us too, it's like our sales process is like, honestly, it's not pushy. I say it's even the opposite of pushy. It's like some people, like some of these sellers will tell us like, hey, like, I'm just considering like other offers at the moment, and I'm gonna go talk to a few more people. And we're like, all right, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead. You want to talk to those people? That's perfectly fine. Just a FYI, just look out for X, Y, and Z, and make sure that they're promising and they do, commit to ABC.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people just appreciate the straight up honesty. Yes. The straight, like, not beating around the bush, just being straight up with, what you can offer. And it's like a lot of the times we're not a good fit for these people. Yeah. And that's, my guy's like, somebody's like doesn't have much motivation, somebody doesn't have much urgency. The price, like, if they might be asking for is realistic. Like, hey, like, I recommend you just go ahead and just list it on the market. Right. We have an agent in office, or we have an agent that can help you out with that. But cash offers is something that doesn't make sense for you, in my opinion. I feel like you're just better off getting full price for what you're looking for. Right.
Okay. Terrific. Natalia, do you have a question?
Yeah, I don't have a question. Just want to say I admire your personality, your hunger in such a young age.
I appreciate it, Natalia.
My son is 19, and I'm trying to connect him with the friends like you.
Oh, trust me. At the age of 19, I was, just playing video games like 24/7.
That's it, yeah, for sure.
I was not like.
That's the inspiration.
Yeah, exactly.
Your story it's clearly inspirational to the young kids, for sure.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's my biggest thing. It's just like being able to like give back, like how you are and whatnot. It's like I want to be like so good at what I do that I can just like step out of my shoes, give it to somebody else, train them up on it, have them do what I do, just so I can start giving back to people.
Absolutely. Natalia, I'm going to do a favor for your son. Remember, what's your son's name, Natalia?
Max.
Max?
Yes.
So have Max come up with 3 to 5 questions that he wants to know about wholesaling. And then I want him to DM Car directly. Will you please, if he sends you 3 to 5 questions, know you're busy?
Oh, yeah.
Can you answer us 3 to 5?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if he wants to hop on a phone call, whatever it is, I'll schedule some time. I don't mind.
And Natalia, there you have it. Tell him he has to be quick. Don't let too many days go by, all right?
Just the message, or actually, Natalia, just message me your number. I'll text you from there. Like I said, I'm terrible at getting back with Instagram messages. So, I'll just send you my number, then we can go from there. But, yeah, definitely open to it.
Okay. What about... I'll drop my number on your Instagram, and once you see it, just save it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, DM201.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you for being a moderator as well. And I want to thank you as well. Instagram, I want to thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we close out, how can we find you?
So you can find me on Karan Khinda, KaranKhinda __. That's currently where I'm at on Instagram. And then, of course, I got my brothers with me too. So the Khinda, and then also PJ Khinda is my brothers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that we get all your information at the bottom of our
appreciate it.
pod. But I just want to tell you, thank you so much for coming out. Is there any last words you want to share with the people about anything and everything?
I would just say, appreciate everybody, hopping in here, listening to us for like about, what was it, like hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun to do, honestly.
Thank
I know the last podcast that we did with everybody, that was my first time on a podcast at all. This is the first time I'm doing a solo one, so this man's breaking a lot of walls for me. So
man. Come on, you my bro.
I appreciate this man right here. Jake, bro, I appreciate you so much.
Likewise.
Man. The guys always talk about you in the office, bro.
Thank you.
You're such a stand-up guy.
Thank
and
you. Especially
everybody in the community, shout out to all you. I'm pretty sure I've met all of you guys at this point, but everybody's just really been putting in work. I only ever heard good things about this community. So shout out all you guys. And if you guys ever need help with anything, like I said, whatever it may be, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to help.
Absolutely. I think that it was serendipitous how you and I connected. We've been locked in ever since. I greatly, I still have the photo we first took when we took the tour of Stockton.
Dude, I forgot about that picture. I was like, man, I should have got a haircut.
I still got it. So, once you lock in, you lock in. It's just such a blessing. I will drop one last nug. If you ever have any, everybody in Deal Master 201, they're analyzing deals, looking for deals. If you guys have something in Sacramento that has enough meat on the bone for one of them to take down, they're avidly looking for it. Zach's looking in Stockton and Modesto as well. So we're avidly buying as well. But they know how to reach you. I got to promote them though. But in short, thank you so much for coming out.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. And thank you everybody on here.
You've been a heck of a guest. I know it's not going to be our last time we're shooting a pod.
Yeah, definitely not.
We'll do it again. Again, everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. My brother Carr came out and blessed us with a lot of jewels today. We appreciate it. This has been another episode of Growing in Real Estate with your host, Jacob Davenport, and my brother Carr. Thank you for joining.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We'll see you soon.